What is going on, everyone? Vaughn here, Ballroom Mastery. Awesome. Awesome to be here. Not going to lie, it's been an arduous journey to get to this point. Wow. The last couple of years, lots of things have been happening behind the scenes. And there's a few announcements today I am very excited to bring to you. So please, as you hear every freaking content creator say, smash the like button. The reason for that is it tells the algorithm to let other people know, and then they can join. Share it with your dance friends too. And not in a passive aggressive way, right? You know, where it's like, hint, hint, you need to get better. So watch this guy, all right? Maybe do that, I don't know. But either way, stick with me because there's a few things I'm gonna go through. One, Masterclass coming up. It's free, it's on my YouTube channel. Make sure you are subscribed over there. This thing is going to be awesome. You and I, we're gonna work together to make your year a top tier dancing year. Yeah, you heard that first. Top tier dancing year, people. How do you do that? By showing up. You show the fuck up. That's right. Do you know how difficult it is for most people to be consistent? So I think one of the things that I think you've got to identify for yourself is why aren't you consistent if that's a struggle for you? All right. Won't get into the weeds on that right now about the personality traits, types, and intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation and all those important factors. But fundamentally, I think when it comes to dancing, I was talking to a student tonight actually about this. Like the more you ascend the sort of pyramid of dance, start, social level, hobby level, up to the top echelons of dancing. Right? The pyramid, people fall off, man. They fall off the pyramid. They get weeded out. Sort of the job of a studio is to weed out the people that don't want to dance and find those that do and help them ascend, transform and transcend, right? And ascend. Join the cult. I mean, to ascend the pyramid. And so in that journey, right, most people that want to go up that road, that want to go that far, they're often a certain type, very achievement orientated, very goal outcome orientated. And so somewhere along the way, though, that can also get a little bit, bit blunt, bit dull around the edges. So this is where you and I are going to work together to maybe light a fire back up under your ass if you have been a bit slack. And we all get there. Hey, look, I run a YouTube channel, okay? I run a business on the side. Well, not a side. I don't know why I said side. I run two businesses fundamentally and have other interests, but they all take time and energy, okay? Technically speaking, if you do all of this sort of online content and whatnot, you should be posting every week, every day, every hour, right? And all that stuff. Dude, if you look at my posting schedule, it is so fucking erratic, okay? But I'm still here, right? I'm still turning up. Channel's doing okay. Like, we're getting better. We have 30,000 fans, just crossed the mark on YouTube. Gonna give myself a solo clap here. Hold on, let's make it awkward. There we go. All right, so thank you to everyone. It means a lot because that's organic growth. It's taken several years. There's been ups and downs. Only probably been, I don't know, a dozen times I've wanted to quit, maybe. I don't know. If you're not wanting to quit, you're probably doing it wrong, right? Because it's going to be difficult to sort of ascend the next level of the pyramid in your own goal achievement, I suppose. Although I don't often like thinking of everything in this sort of hierarchy. Sometimes it's actually there's actually a horizontal hierarchy in that sense, or it's a bit more horizontal, the approach to some things. But look, this masterclass is going to be awesome. I'm very excited by it. I've been spending ages figuring out, like thinking, meditating on it, storyboarding out ideas, what will help you guys. Then I surveyed about 111 people. I think I've closed it off now. I'm going to go through some of those survey results so you can all understand you're in the same boat, right? We're all in the same boat in that regard. And so my channel has always been geared towards helping people move to the next stage in their dancing, okay? And so what I decided to do was to create a masterclass that would have a focus on a dance per month, and then every week we would have a series of things that you need to do, in a lesson that would all add up to the end of the month being, the sort of achievement of a particular, mastery of something within the dance. And I'll do that for every single dance, so there's 10 in the international ballroom and Latin styles over the year. And through that, I think you're going to find massive progress. And especially on the dances that you don't like. The ones you avoid. Jive, looking at you, okay? You know what I'm talking about, people. It's like, I'm just going to do a bit more of that old rumba, right? So I think it's going to be a lot of fun for us. I need your support though. I'm doing it for free. It's costing me a lot of money to put this sort of stuff together. So I need you to support the channel in some way that you can. Right, from 99 cents, that's good. I've got my little hat out like ding, ding, ding. Or join more better, if that's a thing, is actually to become part of my membership program where there's actual like proper lessons structured in there over a year and a half, plus monthly Q&As with me. So check that out. That'll help support the content creation because I definitely like to give back to y'all. I was thinking whether I charge for this sort of masterclass. It's sort of what smart, sane, normal business people do. But I went, fuck that. I am definitely not going to do that because I feel if that's what everyone wants to do and they charge for everything all the time, I'll do something for free and provide massive value. And as a thank you, I think the channel will grow, right? And that's sort of my selfish expectation from it, right? Is growth, baby. So your help is required. Get on the list to be notified about this, boardmastery.com. Let me just get the little thing. Hold on, let me find my clicks. There's the masterclass. There's the list. Yeah. Okay. If you got a question, whack it in the window. It's been a while since I've done this, so I think YouTube now hates me and is not going to tell anyone I'm live. But I'm also on the Instagram. This is cool. I haven't done this before. So looking good over there. Actually, the format works. That's why it's up here and here because of the gram. Okay. So let's look at some of these survey results. Okay. I've had a huge night dancing, huge day. Today is a 16-hour work day. All right. So I really love what I do though, so it's hard to distinguish from work. There's a lot of prep that goes on in the background for this sort of stuff, but I want to make next level content for you guys and girls, and fundamentally no one can get in my head. So it's a bit of a one-man show. I do have like support. Thank you, AI, right? Thank you, AI assistants. You're awesome. Whoa. All right, so 111 responses. How many people do you reckon are advanced that come to my channel? All right, this is YouTube overall, by the way. So I've been on YouTube creating content since probably not just for me, for a company I was partnering with and other people that I've partnered with in the past, since probably 2011. So that's when YouTube was just, wow, it was archaic. Okay. No one was on YouTube back then too. No, people didn't really use it as a resource. Now it's the #1 search engine. So if that's the case, how many people do you think are advanced, intermediate, or beginners? It's a percentage. All right. So have a little guess. Do you think it's like, half are advanced, half a beginner? It's divided up 33% each, sort of thing. What do you think? Let's look here. I wish I had some thinking music. That is not thinking music. Anyway, so we're looking at less than 10% are advanced, and that makes sense, right? Because people who actually go to YouTube often not. They go in like directly to the source, i.e. professionals generally learn from other professionals. They would learn from other workshops, etc. They're in the thick of competing. So using it as a resource to grow doesn't really happen. Because it's a search engine, the people that look at dancing are like coming into dancing, right? So that makes a lot of sense that the biggest contingent are intermediate. Okay, and this is where I have a problem because I think people score themselves way higher than they actually are. And this is hard because this is where you'll fuck it up. And yes, I swear, if you don't like it, off the channel you go. Intermediate, right? How do you actually rank intermediate? This is a good thing to think about because time does not equal expertise, or time does not also equal that you can actually dance. Okay. So someone doing lessons for 20 years, sure, they're going to have some skills, right? But what level of skill? All right. Are they still going to look any good? Like, how bad do they look? Do they have any fluidity? Are they actually on time? All those basics, are they actually doing those? So time doesn't do that. And I think that's where people get a bit of a misnomer. They think I've spent 4 years doing private lessons every week. I've spent X amount of money. I must be intermediate because I've also done a gold medal or I've done a silver medal, etc. And to be fair, I do medals too. But if I was to rank dancing that way, I don't think that's the way to do it. I don't think you can really buy the level, if that makes sense. It's a skill in that sense. So I would say a vast majority of those people are not actual intermediate, because when you look at the intermediate work I do with you, you'd be like, fuck me, I can't actually do that. If I look at the advanced work, it'd be like, this sounds nice in theory. My body wants to cry. I can't dance. I want to go down a level, right? Because it is hard. And to be fair, advanced work and anything that's getting into that upper echelon of intermediate to advanced transition work, your body has to be trained to such an extent that you can even access it, because it's too hard to move, right? Look, if I was to be like, okay, yeah, start to like work your shoulder weight down into your hip and bring your hip up at the same time, right? And, alternate things like that. Very difficult, right? It's very difficult. So you have to also be trained. So it's not just being able to do the steps at all at that level, right? It's assumed you can already dance. Okay, so anyways, that's not to denigrate anyone. It's just to help get realistic on your level, so you know where you're going, right? Don't believe everyone buttering you up saying you're so good, you're so good. It's not about that false praise, right? It's about understanding your limitations, because you need to know where they are physically, so you have a benchmark that you can move from. Okay, not to pull yourself down. I mean, look, to be fair, most people pull themselves down anyway, so you don't need a coach like doing that to you. Okay, so knowing the starting point is what that was more about. Okay, so where are you at? Where do you want to go? Keep that in your brain. What type of dance styles do you find most interested in learning? I gave people an option to add in here. I didn't think there was anything weird. I feel like there should be some like cool background music in here. I'll do it. This will probably annoy people, but I'm just gonna put some shit. Cool. Yeah, I feel like I need something. So someone entered nothing and it got 1 vote. Okay, so American Smooth, American Rhythm, all less than 1%. This makes sense. My channel's been established for a while, so my audience is really largely international ballroom, Latin American, and New Vogue. Okay, cool. So done, no problem. We're gonna smash all that. I mean, some of you asking for Bolero. No, I would bastardize that. I don't know how to do that. What dance is the most interested in improving? What do you reckon it was? Gentlemen, cheers, y'all. Tell me on the ballroom side. Do you think it was Waltz, Foxtrot, Tango, Viennese Waltz, or Quick Step? Go. Oh, it's one directional, isn't it? Waltz. All right, so we're starting with the Waltz Masterclass. Where? Okay, right there. That's going to be a great space to play in. What do you think the least favorite or popular was? Viennese Waltz, which is a shame because it's a nice dance to do, but I'm still going to do it. All right, what about Latin? Let's go. What do we got? 87%, I think. No, 78% on the cha-cha. All right, so cha-cha. This really. I've done group classes every week for like 12 years, okay? From beginner up to advanced levels in my own studio and then in other studios as well over time. And that speaks to my experience. I know full well if I do a waltz class, it's going to have the most people in it. Viennese Waltz will attract the people who want to try it, and then they go, no, I'm never doing that again. Because they don't have the skill, right? This is what I was saying there. You need a good foundation to do that dance. And then Paso Doble being the least popular. But that's fair enough. That's not really a social dance. Imagine that, going out into the world. It's like just walking down the street. I mean, maybe you could grab someone, like do like a little slow rhythm or something with them, like a little box waltz, you know what I mean? But how about walking down the street and be like, bitch, come here, Paso Doble. They'd be like, yeah, you were getting arrested, right? So, but that would be fun. Wouldn't it? Just like casual Paso Doble in the park. Be a little aggressive on a Sunday morning, but whatever floats your boat. What else have we got here? Bachata. Who are you? Why would you write that in my survey? Argentine Tango. I love that. See, I'm glad I didn't do Argentine Tango, to be fair. And the main reason is to just be a lot of like forehead to forehead with people you just don't want to dance with. You know what I'm talking about, ladies. Like you just don't want that. So, and plus, wouldn't you get a lot of flus? So what's your primary goal in dancing? Right, so the majority of people are actually social dancers. So this is interesting. So intermediate social dancing. See what I'm saying? So in my brain, intermediate and social dancing, very different level. Like extraordinarily different level to dance sport intermediate, right? No, so this is, and this is where it gets confusing for some people, but we're going to work at the beginning and go up, right? And then the least amount are teachers, okay? So somewhere in between that two, you got exams and all the other stuff as well. And it's sort of divided up pretty equally amongst the other types of contenders. So do you practice solo with a partner? It's about half-half. Do you practice by yourself or home at all? Actually, a lot. This is great. So this is where I was ahead of the curve, right? So I created this channel back in 2017, started doing online lessons. I know when I asked that question back then, like hardly anyone was practicing. It was hard enough for me to get my streaming wireless. I had to go to several stores, Frankenstein things to get this internet to work and stream through a 4K camera in 2017. It was really hard to do back then. Easy now. But who was I doing it to? Because the majority of people weren't actually practicing at home then. So that's great. And I think COVID helped that a little bit, and people are a bit more used to it. But the fact that's happened, that's really cool. How much time do you practice per week? You mean how many times do you lie to yourself about your practicing time? Um, this was interesting because I don't know why I did this, but I gave the option for people to add in their own amount of time. I was very specific. I was like, less than 10 minutes, 10 to 30 minutes, pretty, et cetera, et cetera. So these blocks of intervals, pretty easy to select one. Some dude, 12 to 15 hours a week, that's pretty good. 500 hours a week. What the, there's always one, isn't there? Right? There's always one. Have to stop talking to this person at the moment. Okay, cool. So yeah, I butchered that. I'm not going to be able to extrapolate the information from that. We'll have a few minutes throughout the day, and zeros. Yeah, so it's a bit all over the place, but there are some sort of corollaries here. But the fundamental thing is, and this is where I think my channel is very separate to other people, is not the quality. So the quantity of practice, it's the quality and the quantity, right? So there's only a maximum you can do per day anyway before you get diminishing returns and you actually fuck yourself. I mean, you got to spend time unfucking yourself, right? So what this means is that you might practice for 2 hours in a day, and then there's a diminishing return after like 45 minutes, right? And you actually start going backwards, or you ingrain the wrong skills. So the quality of the practice is really difficult for people to measure because a lot of people just don't think about it. They just turn up and do movement, but it's not deliberate, right? So there's a video on my YouTube channel. It's been around for ages, but it's very popular on practicing. And there's a 7-step framework there. So you have to learn to do deliberate practice in like short-spaced individual repetitions, right? So you're knowing how to do it in a way that maximizes things, because you get tired, right? And you've got emotional baggage and things like that can creep in, and physiologically you feel different day to day. So and then there's hormones, right? There's your partner maybe you don't want to go near again, right? So there's all of that in there, and so there's a way to sort of get things going that get the most out of it, even as a social dancer. Okay, so yeah, keep that in mind. That more does not equal better. Consistency with frequency. So consistency being you do it every day or every 2 days or every 3 days, whatever that is for you, and then frequency. So you're actually like doing that like for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, etc., and you are actually doing it, and then you're doing it in a certain way, rather than just turn up and do a routine to music off time and poorly. You know what I'm talking about. You know who you are. Okay, so got a question? Whack it in the window below. Smash that like button. Tell your friends. Passively aggressive, send it to people that you want to get better. Okay. Your challenger needs. I'm looking for someone being a smartass first, as I always go to that first. There's a bit like someone who just isn't wanting to actually improve. Okay, what's your biggest frustration? Yeah, so basically, look, a lot of this comes down to mastering basics, which is great. I felt I led you with the name of my channel, just quietly. Mastery and all. So finding a partner, yeah. No, that's not your fucking challenge. Finding a partner is not your challenge. Jesus Christ. No. It might feel like it. Look, to be fair, it is horses for courses. Like if you've been spending 4 years, but look, if you really want a partner, I mean, if you really wanted one, you would figure it out, but it means sacrifice, right? Might have to move at the worst case scenario, depending on what your goals are. You might have to find someone and train them up, which is, guess what? That's called a sales pitch. You would actually have to find someone, invite them in, spend the time to go through that. You know what I mean? You'd have to advertise. Yeah, I know, right? You have to put yourself out there. Okay. And then from there, you go forward. Now, here's the thing. You get a partner, then you got to keep one. Yeah. So it takes two to tango. What's up? Added that in there. Good pun. Yeah. So I'm not going to do that again. I promise. So dancing with a partner as I'm doing it alone. Yeah. So that's true. So this is one of the things. You got solo versus partner work. So I'm going to focus on solo work on this masterclass. And then the last week will be partnering. So you will get some of that aspect in there. But I'll just say it like this. Although it is partner dancing, and I have quite a sort of strategic method to all of this sort of stuff, you have to do certain things solo. And then when you dance with your partner, you do different things. Okay? So you don't, what you train solo is to sort of get the skill, get your body going. Then you need to know how to put that with a human in front of you, because it's actually a different skill in that sense. You have to sort of turn off thinking about your footwork and turn on different parts of the dancing technique, so you're not getting confused. Okay, you can't really practice footwork with someone in front of you. All right. Okay, so but yeah, finding a partner, that's always a funny one too, because sometimes it's not, yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it? You do want a partner, but sometimes it's hard to have a partner that encourages you. You may not, it may, I have seen partners ruin someone else's love for dance. Now, it's not really their fault. They let them do it, but you know, it does happen. People can get really, really put off. Okay. So let's have a look here. Remembering choreography. Yeah, good. I love they're pretty serious responses here. My job gets in the way. Yeah, that's true. All right. So mastering technique is a big one. Well, here we are. Masterclass is coming all the way, baby. All right. Finding an equally motivated partner. Yeah, so partner's quite big. It's mentioned quite a lot, and fair enough. So it's not wrong to want to get one. What I'm saying is if that's something you've been sticking with for a while, but you're just turning up and sort of looking around and going, oh, there's no partners, and you really want one, I'm telling you, you got to put the work in to get one sometimes. Like, it's just how it works. You have to put the energy out there. Where the energy goes, the energy flows, you know, that sort of thing. What you demand, what persists, what you resist persists. Is that the right sort of quote in this context? If you resist a partnership, you're not going to get one. No, that makes no sense. So anyway, I reckon we can help you with that. You know, a while ago, when apps were sort of the bigger thing in the world as a business, I was looking at creating a partnering app around 2013 or 14. So like you know, obviously in a crude way, you could equate it to like a dating app, so you can meet other dancers and things like that. I just don't think the market's big enough, to be honest. It probably could work, but it's too much money and time to set up for such a small market, really. In terms of the need to find a partner, I reckon for social dancing maybe, but what the hell? It would probably turn into a goddamn hookup app. So like, come on, like that's just what, you know, if you're meeting people and whatnot, it's like, no, we're here for dancing people. Vertical, not horizontal. God damn it. Okay, so what's one specific move or technique or concept you wanted to learn? Yeah, spins, better arms, swing and sway. How are you dancing if you don't have any swing and sway? Okay, that's okay. I know your problem. And that's why we're doing this. Rumba steps, 5 feathers. So yes, there's a mixture of like body stuff and then actual steps. Maintaining the frame, flex rules. Yeah, so it's a lot of that. Okay, so when it comes to steps are very easy to learn, to be honest. You can learn any step in 15 minutes, okay? Any ballroom step. Dancing the step, that is the artistry and the lifetime of work, okay? So sometimes not just the steps, right? It's the actual, like, the way they move. I don't know why I said sometimes that is actually the thing. So body mechanics. Okay, cool. Well, that's very good. So what do you struggle with? This is always good. So partnering techniques was quite large, coming in by a hot second of styling and presentation. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. You ready? So intermediate social dancers. Let's talk about styling and presentation then, hey? Okay. So you're a social dancer, you're intermediate level. Styling and presentation. For who? You're not competing, right? You're not presenting anything. You're dancing for yourself. You're dancing in music with your partner. Styling and presentation is linked more to, in my mind anyway, performance, right? It's more linked more to stage performance, winning a crowd over, beating competitors, being judged first in a competition, you know, or placing in a final. That's it. Now styling is a little different. That's more about expression, right? So it's a bit separate. So, but it's very, very big result on that one. And fair enough. And this is where I will stress to you, this is important to understand. You need a solid foundation to be able to use your body a little differently. Now, that doesn't mean, even if you're just a very, you know, early dancer in your development and you've got very basic things working for you, that you can't, you know, aim to be less awkward. So your arms and your body has a better look, right? So that's fair enough. You don't want to look bad on the floor, but there are degrees of this whole styling and presenting, right? What you want to do, you know, you can dance nicely with your body, put your hand up, or you can be like fucking bang, right? And like you're like getting all that shit, like boom, you got your finger guns and granny watching you across the floor and slapping phones out of people's hands because they're distracted and they're on the doom scrolling while you worked your ass off to compete. And you're like, no, I sacrificed my time, my family, my money. I'm in debt. I owe so much money to 6 studios. I'm teaching. I'm never going to get out of this. I'm working a waiter job to be here to try to win. And I'm always placing 7th, right? You watch me, okay? That doesn't sound bitter at all. Anyway, so you understand what I'm saying? It takes the skill development to be able to access certain things as well. All right. So It doesn't mean you can't try. Don't get me wrong. Like, absolutely, you should. You should really push your body hard, like when you're dancing. It's really fun. But to be fair, it's weird. One of the things I remember learning quite early was when you're social dancing, and when I run social dance events. Oh fuck my life! I wanted to like competitors would come in and dance like it's a competition. And it's like, can't you social dance? Right? Like it's a different my coach would say that. It's like, Vaughn, these people, they need to learn to social dance. It's not a competition. And then there'd be, even Mirko Gazzoli, right? One of the greatest ballroom dancers ever, a true legend. He would even explain in lectures at like Blackpool Congress, these prestigious championships, like the pinnacle of dance education, and say, you don't dance medals like it's a competition, and you don't dance your medals in competition in the sense, right? There's different ways to dance. And that's a really good thing to understand. So starting a presentation, if you're a social dancer, even if you're an advanced social dancer, you are not going to dance it like a competition. That's just retarded. You're going to look so bad. And it's not retarded. Like, I shouldn't say it like that. It's more like awkward, right? Because it's time and place, isn't it? So, and true, like you can also have that attitude of like, don't give a fuck. I'll do what I want. I can dance like this if I feel like it. But part of what is attractive in dancing is alluring people in. It is the idea of people like watching you. And I personally don't think like this, but it's part of the performance, right? I also don't like people watching me dance. It's a weird thing. Like, I love dancing. I swear I dance better when no one's watching. I really do. I love dancing like that. But there is an aspect to entertaining people that's very cool. And to do that, you need to be attractive, right? You need a peacock feather thing going on. You have to be like, what's up? Check out my moves. Yeah. And then people go, oh, that's awesome. And they're back to doom scrolling. You're like, slap that phone again, right? Wink at granny. So getting all of that stuff together, that's the signing presentation, right? And getting it to that level. And so you really have to understand, like, where again, where are you at, where are you going, why are you doing things? Because you don't need to look at, get ready for this. You don't need to compare to a fucking world champion and go, I need to social dance like that. It's not the same, okay? And why would you do that to yourself? Yeah? Why would you do? Why bother, right? Dance for you. Dance and enjoy it, yeah? And dance to the level and ability that you want to go to in the future. But don't look at someone else who's like training all the time for years on end and being like, I'm nothing like that. It's like, yeah, it's a little of an unfair comparison there, right, buddy? So anyway, know where you're going, know where you want to go, why you want to get there, and be very specific about that. Okay. So, you do breakdowns of technique you'll love. Fantastic. That's why we're on the channel. Okay, so not going to go through that. It's a bit boring. Now here's the thing, right? Long YouTube video. The video preferences are weird, right? So I don't know about you, but I have watched and listened mainly to YouTube videos that go for hours. 1 hour, 1.5 hour. But if you ask me, what's my preference for YouTube video? It's like short. But then if the content's really good, like I love long things. Like I listen to lectures all the time, like every day. And I mean this, every day I'm listening to lectures on YouTube and podcasts, right? And they go for 40 minutes to 60 minutes every time. But if you were to say, like, what would your preference be? It'd be like, 60 seconds so I could sort of get it, maybe a couple of minutes. But when I look at my history, I'm like, oh my God, my use time on my phone, let's just put that over there. We're just going to slide that away. Okay. Because no wonder I don't feel like I have any time. So, all right. Now, live Q&A sessions, masterclasses, etc. So I asked what you'd be interested in terms of content, how you would like to digest it, in that sort of thing. So this is where we're at with the masterclass. Okay. And which platforms do you use the most? Yeah, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, etc. Yeah, there's my change over time. All right, this is always good. Like, if you do wave a magic wand, what would you like to achieve in your dance journey? Okay, don't say partner. This is for you. Okay, so take part and win a competition in Blackpool. Ooh, that's good. I'll find out who wrote that one. That's a good one. You better not put yourself as a social intermediate dancer if that's the case, because my friend, you have work to do. Okay. Even if you said like you're a beginner dance ball competitor, right? You'd be training in a different modality and mindset. Okay. So I want to see what I mean. Like, this is where you got to be really honest with yourself. Where are you at? Where are you going? What do you want to do? And then are you willing to do the work on it? Because please don't push yourself to a place that makes you hate dancing. I've been there. It's not good. You can definitely do too much of the thing you love. All right. Which is why there's no snacks in my home. So I want to learn at least 5 to 6. Okay, cool. I would share this with you, but it's a bit of a privacy thing as well. I love to improvise in. I know it's fun to watch someone reading and not say anything, so it's very exciting. All right, I'll go through that. I just didn't see. So most of you. So on the positive side of things, what you want to spin gracefully, to have confidence, right, to make up for lost time. Okay, then if you want to make up for lost time, sort of can't do that, but you can, especially if you're older and the physicality isn't as strong. 20 to 60 is definitely not the same for in dancing, but you can still dance beautifully if you learn right. And if you practice correctly, you do shortcut the learning process, or at least, I don't like the word hack, but if you look, you can do it smarter or longer in a sense, right? So smarter means you're using your time more efficiently and you're training your body the right way, and so therefore you improve quicker. But to do that, hear this out, as part of what you should do to make yourself stronger. Are you ready for it? Step out of your comfort zone. You have to put yourself into positions where you get stressed, and then you're going to improve your dancing. So getting yourself to a place where you, what do you call it? You never thought you would do it in a million years and you're doing it. So you might do a performance. You might go grab that person in the park and do a paso with them. Don't get arrested. But you might put yourself in a place where you're doing a stage show, for example, in a theater, or you're doing a competition you never thought you'd do, or even just a medal. That is plenty, but that is exactly what will push you into the space of making up for lost time, because what's the saying? Well, I suppose most people live like they have a contract forever. All right, we do not have a contract forever, so you've got to really move in the direction of what you want, and it adds up pretty quickly if you're consistent, right? If you're consistent, and you be consistent by coming to the Waltz Masterclass on Tuesday, the 11th, 18th, and 25th of February, and the 4th of March at 10 a.m. Sydney time, 6 p.m. New York time, 8 a.m. Tokyo time. Okay, that's how you be consistent, all right? And you can register here on there. Okay, and that says dance planner, not get a dance partner. Okay. There is a lot of cool stuff. Flexibility, stressless competition. I didn't ask who is delusional, who took their Delulu pills today. If you could just have a delusional fantasy, I would have a stressless competition. What the fuck are you talking about? The whole purpose of competition is stress. It's positive stress to make you better. What are you talking? No. The worst results I've seen from people dancing, the ones like, no, I'm not stressed at all. I'm like, you complacent fuckface. You are not going to dance very well at all. Are you kidding me? Where is your passion, right? What you don't want, and if you've ever seen the Dunning-Kruger effect, right, there's a bell curve, right? You get this, and it's related to diminishing returns, but there's another one called, like, it's a peak performance space, right? But essentially you got a bell curve like that. All right, I'm trying to keep it in the middle. And in that space here, say the 80% zone, so 10% on either side. As you go from this 10%, this side here is complacency, right? It's like, yeah, I don't give a shit. Like, I turn up, just do my stuff. This can happen for anything, by the way. Like, and don't get it confused. Professionals and like top tier actors can be here. This is like, just can't be fucked anymore. It's just they've lost whatever it was. But there's a space at the peak of this bell where you are, so there's no stress or anxiety here at all. You go to the peak, you've got this optimal space of stress. All the butterflies, quote unquote, are flying in formation. On the other side, you've got this insane anxiety, right? Where, and I might be butchering the demonstrations, but you get the idea. And then on this side, it's insane anxiety to the point where you're physically, like, at the worst side of this, you're physically vomiting. The nausea is so real, the imagined fear, and the nervous system is kicking up so much adrenaline and cortisol that your physical reaction is to vomit, right? And then you feel not only trembling knees, sweaty palms, like almost a panic attack, right? That's over there. Now, everyone has the ability to get into both states, really. The thing is, there's a space in the middle where, let's just say, like an Olympic athlete, for example, you sort of train yourself through experience, time, and output. And of course, putting yourself into competition where you learn by the feedback, the negative feedback of not getting the result you want, from going out there, putting in the work, thinking you're going to do well, go out, and on the day you just perform nothing like you've done in the studio before. And so all of a sudden you're now, goddamn. And so you learn from that and you use that as sort of the fuel to improve and get better, right? But you put yourself in that position to begin with, which is why what people were saying before about, for example, stressless competition, or, I want to have like an easy competition, or any of that type of framework. It doesn't exist. It doesn't work. Now, that doesn't mean you can't be calm. This is actually how you sort of get in that zone. But there's an aliveness, people. Damn it. That is one of the things you are killing, is the aliveness, the true feeling of like, I actually don't know if this is going to work today, right? And you might have been right up there. And the reason why professionals, they've been through more of that problem than anyone else, learned how to deal with it effectively. You still don't quite know. You just trust your body to do it automatically now. See what I mean? It's so hardwired. But you may not sleep well the night before. So you might be a little bit more tired than you used to. You know, someone might hit you. You might bleed. You might break a toenail, tragically. And then just, now it doesn't dance. You don't dance as well. So the point being, and I think you can understand this now, you don't want to get rid of the stress that's good, right? You also don't really want to get rid of the stress that's bad. So it's about harnessing it and knowing you, not what I say, what you're about, your awareness of yourself, understanding your body, understanding what makes you tick, understanding what works for you and what doesn't, right? That is what it's about. When this happens, I'm telling you, you're going to have the most insanely positive experiences. It becomes addictive, right? You're like, yeah, just have a little bit more of that dance competition, right? Or you're going to be like, oh, that was amazing. I'm just going to go and have a little bit more of that, like, performance anxiety, please. Just a touch more. Maybe not performance anxiety. That's a terrible thing to say as a dude. You don't want no performance anxiety, gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? What you want is the ability to perform, bang, under pressure and bring it. The problem is you don't rise to the occasion. Look at these puns. Amazing. You fall back on your level of training. Okay, that's how it works every time. So with that in mind, I hope you can see where the motivation comes from yourself when you realize that you're not trying to escape the fear. You're not trying to escape or make things easier in the sense of like robbing yourself of the challenge, and more importantly, robbing like your future self of the growth. That is what things like that trigger me on, because it's common. It's not like I just like went on a rant for no reasons because of that response. It's because I know where it comes from and how many people, it's sort of the thing they're trying to get to. But then as your skills get better, you actually want to try more. This is the crazy thing about confidence and competency. The better you get at it, okay, the more confidence you have to try. And so that's when you put yourself in these spaces where stress is going to be more of a natural thing. The bigger the competition, the more stress in a way, right? But it's not equal and opposite. So eventually you get used to doing black pulls, right? Eventually you get used to traveling in dancing competitions. It becomes like normal. And this is what I was saying about the beginning of this curve. Complacency can kill, because again, the top performers can have this, and they do. They have to deal with it. And actors can have it. They've won an Oscar, and it's like they're so complacent now in their job. You'd think, wow, they'd really put the effort in. And so we have to all be aware of these things, and it can happen to anyone. So if, in my mind, this is just a quick thing about me. When I lost passion for dancing, for whatever reason, there were comps where I just couldn't give a fuck. Like, I did not care as much. And so I can understand this a lot. And so I was more on that side of it than the anxiety side. I've been there for sure. But yeah, and it wasn't good. It wasn't nice. Like, I'd like, well, I need to find a new way. And here's what it is, people. Get ready. This is coming in for landing. Bring it in. Come with me, right? I brought a new way of doing things to myself. And that is the thing that you must keep doing. It's almost like a little reinvention. All right. So for example, the YouTube channel, things I do, and my own dancing, the corollary there was I would find a new way to approach it, whether it's a different practice session, whether it's new routines, but that doesn't always do it. But it is exciting. But new routines is a bit like a drug, but it's not the thing that necessarily always makes you better in a way. Anyway, the point being is that if you reinvent yourself and find a new way, that's the way to do it. What's one of my favorite quotes is by Buckminster Fuller. I'll bring it up because I don't want to butcher this one. Buckminster, and it is late. My brain, like I'm on this coming into that 16th hour now. We're gonna make the existing model obsolete. Here we go. All right, stay with me. This is good. Yeah, you never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete. That's why you don't want to get rid of stress, because changing things by fighting the existing reality, it doesn't work. the new model has to come. And so that may be for you. You might be a few years into dancing the same way every time. And maybe if spruce up of a routine's good, maybe a different competition, maybe take a break from competitions, right? Maybe social dance for a bit, maybe get into competition if you haven't done it, right? So you get what I'm saying is that these new ways do approach things. Now, unfortunately, in the dance sport world, people just swap partners thinking that's going to do the thing. It's like, fuck it, I'm just put rid of that person, let's bring in this one, right? It's like, okay, how's that going for you? High divorce statistics, right? And unhappiness, right? So no, that is not always the answer. Okay. It is sometimes, absolutely, but it's not the strategy, right? It's a bit of a silly one because you ask any professional, I'm pretty sure I talked to Ricardo Cocky on one of my interviews. It just takes you like 2 years to get warmed up and ready with one person. And that's if you're like already an amateur or a pro, right? It takes time. So swapping isn't, or the grass is not always greener in that sense. It definitely is sometimes. I get you there, but no, not always. Anyway, what do you think? You don't have to agree with me. What's your opinion, right? I would like to give strong health to my wife so she could be able to return to ballroom. Well, that's nice. That's good. That's good. Well, there's more here. Now, here, anything else you'd like to share? No, it's good. Yeah, my instructor says I'm good. I wish I could feel it and dance with less stress. Yeah, that's obviously a big one there. So dancing with less stress is a bit different too, right? So if you're talking about stress like the body, as in too much stress in the muscles, too much tension, that I would agree. I'd say like absolutely. The less stress, the more in terms of like human movement, whether you're a martial artist or like a professional cricketer or something, you're trying to hit or strike and dance with the most amount of power, the most amount of quality. So power does not mean doesn't mean strength. Okay, so the most amount of power and efficiency with the quality. Okay, the quality of movement using the least amount of muscles as possible, and that's where you get a very nice look, right? Okay, so your program. Okay, so anyway, so I don't know why I paused there for so long, but I think we're going to wrap it up. If there's any questions anyone has, please feel free to put them there. But what I would like you to do is go to ballroommastery.com and get on a list. So when I email the masterclass coming out, and you need to be part of just YouTube, you don't have to pay for it. Again, just be a subscriber, hit all notifications on there, and then yeah, I love your videos. The reasons why I don't join BMA. Yeah, you guys are awesome. Like the members in that community, you guys rock, right? So this is as much for you as it is for them, right? I want to just give as much content as I can at the moment to really help, because I've got some big goals, and we're gonna make our channel fucking awesome, right? We're gonna make it big. So I think your videos are great. Your personalities are infectious. Yeah. Okay, cool. So I want to thank you everyone for all of this information, actually, because fundamentally, I'm going to use this in such a capitalistic way. Oh yeah, no virtue here at all. No. This is all about the money. So if it was, I probably would not be doing this, right? So there's way better things I could do. But I love this, man. So let's do this together. I need your help. You help me, I help you. You know what I'm saying? Right? I'll give you a little fist bump. Bang, next time I see you somewhere. And then off we go. So I want to thank you for being here. No questions coming in. Freaking awesome. Okay, you check out ballroommastery.com, and then we're going to rock this out. In 2 weeks, we start. All right? If you miss it, you'll be able to see it later. Thank you, and I'll see you later.